QUT Literary Salon and patrons of the Bearded Lady, both bearded and otherwise. My name is Jay Fisher, and I'm an English teacher. My deepest, most terrible secret that I carry as an English teacher is that I have a music degree. I've always wanted to be an English and music teacher, so I did take a number of English units during my Bachelor of Music, but this literature minor was pretty minor and has left a lot of gaps in my knowledge. I'm somewhat sorry to say that I'm a trained English teacher who hasn't read Beowulf or Lord of the Flies. The first time I taught To Kill a Mockingbird, I had to forego the novel and read the Cliff's Notes instead. Admittedly, I taught Lee's work at very short notice, but it didn't stop me from kicking myself for not reading it in the 10th grade when I was supposed to. With all of that off my chest, I'm so happy to tell you that not being especially trained in literary studies is in fact the worst thing I could admit about myself in my staff room. It is no longer necessary to hide the fact that I have a same-sex partner. As you might imagine, being out has not always been so simple. I don't want to paint myself as a victim of circumstance, but my queer experience has had its ups and downs. For example, I've known that I was queer since I was a really young child, younger than I'd care to admit, which has saved me years of questioning and confusion. What wasn't so great was bearing this knowledge as a damning secret for more than a decade. It's been pretty cool having a father who has been proudly supportive of my relationships, but it's been less cool having to out myself solely because I was competing in a public speaking competition and I was afraid that I would receive backlash for arguing in favor of marriage equality. Having a girlfriend in grade 12 was everything that my brain could have wanted in the throes of teenage reconfiguration, but the decision in who to tell and who to hide weighed heavily on the both of us. I think fear is a common experience in the lives of many LGBTQIA people. Growing up in the 2000s as a queer person has been a bit strange. When I talk to my older buddies who lived through the 80s, I count my lucky stars that I didn't experience the violence that came with the HIV/AIDS crisis. My fear has been of a different ilk. It's a seed that's incubated in my chest and infiltrated my every vein and every decision and every waking thought. Queer representation has not evolved in a linear fashion throughout the culture of the new millennium. When I was 10, being called a lesbian or a faggot was one of the worst insults anyone could experience. But there was that period between 2005 and 2008 when young, handsome boys kissing each other was all the rage in teen magazines. The emo subculture reared its head with teens dyeing their hair black and wearing skinny jeans from JJ's, but it came with the onslaught of fear-mongering news headlines such as, how to tell if your child is an emo or gay or both. My high school taught in the spirit of post-second wave popular feminist ideologies. Girls to the front and girls can do anything were popular slogans, but at the time, same-sex couples were banned from attending the formal. As a young queer teen, the TV show Glee was so exciting because it showed gay teen couples in high school, but I still had to watch it in secret after its 9 p.m. slot on Channel 10. This flip-flopping tone of acceptance, but not too much acceptance, contributes greatly to my issue of how to present myself. I'm constantly wondering if I look too queer or too gay or too trans. I'm constantly coming out on a case-by-case basis, and it can get exhausting. I consider myself fortunate. For all the paranoia I lived through as a child and teenager, I was lucky to have people dotting my life who didn't have my sexual orientation or gender identity at the forefront of their minds. A pivotal memory I have is of the parish priest I sat before on most bleary Sunday mornings. Father Peter, rest in peace, was the first religious figure I encountered who openly supported queer folk. During one homily, he spoke of a colleague who was a faculty member at an Ignatian college in Sydney. Father Peter remarked on the deep sadness his colleague must have felt, knowing that members of his religion thought him unclean and unworthy. While I've never been religious, I've always respected my Catholic upbringing, and hearing Father Peter empathize so profoundly with someone like me was soothing to the psychological chafing I endured as a closeted teenager. Being afraid is something that comes very naturally to me. So this anxiety on whether or not people perceive me to be gay is something I'm yet to totally shape. This is pretty funny to some people, as it turns out, because when I mention it, they usually laugh and point at my hair or what I'm wearing. In my first 2 terms of teaching, or my first year and a bit now, of teaching, I've learned that high school students have a particular test for teachers to find out whether or not they're gay. This litmus test has a few conditions, and the first one is that it will only happen to you if you look gay, whatever that means. I suspect it applies to me because I'm called Miss, but I've got short hair and I tend to wear sweater vests to work. The next condition is that the panel of students will usually come in pairs. They know that the questions that they are asking are a little bit underhanded, and obviously there is safety in numbers. The test always starts with one same question. Miss, do you have a boyfriend? Frankly, my response is totally random. So to some students, I have 8 boyfriends, and to others, I'm a spinster with a collection of pet birds. The questions escalate from here, punctuated with shared glances. Miss, are you married? Miss, do you have kids? Miss, why don't you have a boyfriend? Again, my answers totally rely on the alignment of the planets. So I might not be married, but I have 12 children, and I think that only people older than 40 should date. Eventually, they get bored of my antics, and reflecting on my reflecting has revealed to me that I am still scared to be out. It's easy to laugh at the boldness of students because we know being brash is something teens are just prone to doing. But every time I experience the test, a roll of question activates in my mind. Would they lose respect for me? Would they gossip about me? Would they, God forbid, tell their parents that they have a queer teacher? What would their parents do if they found out? Every time I call a kid out for calling their friend gay when they actually mean stupid, I fleetingly wonder if they think I only care about their language because I look gay myself. I wonder if they turn their backs and grouse about it to each other. During my teacher training in postgraduate uni, I used to lie awake and run through these questions and scenarios, doing my anxious best to plan for each and every one. Here is a list of answers to some of those questions. 1. They are just as likely to lose respect for me because I'm a strong believer in seating plans and counting down to silence. 2. They gossip about the pattern problem shirts that I wear. And 3. Even if they did tell their parents, I'm really lucky to be at a school where I'm legally protected and backed by other supportive staff. This method of answering my own neurotic questions has proved to be a great way of staving off my day-to-day fears and anxieties. Yes, I've lived a life of worry and underhanded questions and strange looks and unwelcome comments, but I'm learning that it doesn't always have to be like that. I became a teacher partially because I actually just really enjoy complaining about literature to a captive audience, but more so because I want to show students that they're okay, and that everyone is a bit odd, and that life's okay, and if it's not, it will be. If I can model these things to them by being honest and reasonable and just, then I will consider my work successful. I know that I've been successful when one kid says the gay word, and a bunch of them hiss at each other and go, shh, can't say that here. What I'm trying to say is that the emotional burden of whether you look too gay is a challenging one, even in a time where same-sex couples can legally be wed. The best way to cope is to be kind to yourself and to try not to worry. As someone who can think about buying one particular pair of shoes for 6 months, much time after the sales actually ended, not worrying and feeling normal is a task within itself. My partner's favorite poem is Wild Geese by Mary Oliver, which states that you do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. If you ask her why she loves this poem so much, she explains that the poem is about just being, and that it is more than enough to be the soft animal that you are. She further extrapolates that animals are neither good nor bad, and that they are doing just exactly what they know. And sometimes, us silly upright apes should do the same. It is easy to forget that we are but talking monkeys, worried and afraid about what the next talking monkey thinks about us. Being afraid makes it easy to forget that you are good. You are good and clean and valuable. For those of you who are queer, you very well may carry history and baggage related to your sexual and gender identity. Many of you will carry negative and hurtful experiences from your childhoods inflicted upon you by people and institutions that were supposed to show you love and care and validation. Know that no matter what you have been told or have had impressed upon you, you're nothing but who you insist you are. You will change and evolve. Labels will fit one day and fall away the next. Don't fear change. You are a wonderful work in progress. Thank you.